Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Village of Bartlett Village Board meeting for November 5th, 2013. I'll call this meeting to order, and clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Ahrens?
Here.
Camerer?
Here.
Carbonaro?
Here.
Martin?
Here.
Ranke?
Here.
Shipman?
Here.
President Wallace?
Here. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving to the consent agenda. The consent agenda, all items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at the appropriate point on the agenda. At this point, are there any items that the board wishes to add or remove from the consent agenda?
I would like to add 1B.
B1, Building Inspector Ford Fusion Vehicle Purchase. Is there any discussion? Is that something we can add?
That's something you can add.
Okay. All right, is there anything else? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to amend the consent agenda, adding B1 under Building Committee, Building Inspector Ford Fusion Vehicle Purchase.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Trustee Shipman, seconded by Trustee Ranke. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Ahrens?
Yes.
Camerer?
Yes.
Carbonaro?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Ranke?
Yes.
Shipman?
Yes.
Motion carries. At this point, I'll entertain a motion to approve the amended consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
It's moved by Trustee Martin, seconded by Trustee Carbonaro. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Ahrens?
Yes.
Camerer?
Yes.
Carbonaro?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Ranke?
Yes.
Shipman?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is under Treasurer's Report. There is none. Moving along, under President's Report, there's no President's Report this evening. Brings us down to any questions and answers from the board at this time. Hearing none, we'll move on to the Town Hall portion of the meeting. The Town Hall portion of the meeting is where we request that anybody that has any comments, please approach the podium. You have up to 3 minutes to give us your comments, and please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mr. President, trustees, and village administrator. My name is George Cozio, and I reside at 654 Hazelnut Court. I am here this evening to once again speak on behalf of my neighbors, the residents of Walnut Hills. Rather than ask for help, I want to deliver a thank you from the residents of 143 homes in the subdivision. As representatives of our village, you provided us with your backing on our request to IDOT to install a stoplight at the intersection of Route 59 and Red Oak Drive. That light was a better idea than their proposal to rework the intersection. At the village meeting of September 17th, I came before you and presented a petition signed by the residents of Walnut Hills and stated that we were going to send it to IDOT. We asked for your help, and you gave it to us. We thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, our trustees, who stood with us. A special thank you to Village Administrator Valerie Salmons for the letter to IDOT asking them to reconsider the idea of a signalized intersection where Red Oak meets Illinois Route 59. Also, sharing that letter with us was very much appreciated. On September 10th, I sent the petition with signatures and a letter to IDOT asking them to reconsider the work at the 59 Red Oak Drive intersection. You may or may not know that on October 3rd, IDOT responded to my letter. As we might have expected, but hoped to the contrary, IDOT has once again denied our request for a traffic signal. They again state that the intersection does not have the traffic to warrant a light. They also state that the proximity of the US 20 at 59 interchange was of concern because there was potential for traffic backing up at the signalized intersection. We, the residents of Walnut Hills, tried to make a change. You, our village, Bartlett, stood with us and tried to persuade IDOT on our behalf. Yes, we are disappointed, but we can truly say that we are proud that we tried and that you were there with us. Thank you again very much for caring enough to get involved with us.
Thank you, Mr. Koziel.
Good evening, Board. My name is Diane Rocha. I live on 315 West North Avenue. And the reason I'm here is because the traffic on our street has become a big issue. I know there was an accident October 21st with the truck cutting through town on Western and Railroad Avenue. Since we've lived there, we've seen the traffic increase incredibly. We can't even back out of our driveway. My daughter got hit the other day backing out because traffic isn't stopping at Western. They're flying around the corner. We have landscapers, township trucks, garbage trucks on days they're not in our village. We have all sorts of traffic cutting through because it is a shortcut from Lake Street to 59. And if they go down South Bartlett Road to make a right turn onto Main Street, there's no arrow, so they know it's faster to cut through our subdivision. So I wanted to know if we could do something about this traffic issue, either make it a one-way at certain times of day like you guys have made Oneida, or to put more stop signs in, or just to make it residential traffic only. But I'd like to know if there's something that can be done. We did request a traffic, I think it's a traffic survey, whatever they were supposed to be doing, and ironically, we requested it the day the accident happened. So we just wanted to know what can be done, because we have parents cutting through to drop their kids off to school. I mean, it's so bad even on weekends we can't even get in and out of our driveway half the time. So I just wanted to address the board and see if something could be done about this issue. Thank you.
I'm sorry, what was the address?
315 West North Avenue. We're like 2 houses away from the corner of Western.
And which intersection is the...
Western and North
Western
Avenue.
and North.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because we have cars flying down that street constantly.
And you've already done requested a traffic study?
I did, yes. On October 21st, I did.
Do we have any feedback on that at all?
It's not completed yet.
Okay. All right. Thank you for letting us know.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Teresa Materna, and I'm here on the request of Diane, who just spoke. She sent a letter out to the residents to see who would come. I live at 329 West North Avenue, directly on the corner of North and Western. I didn't realize this was happening until tonight, as far as the meeting. I did my own little brief survey for 5 minutes before coming here. From 6:25 to 6:30, I stood on my porch, and there were 27 cars going through the intersection, and I'm going to say maybe 6 stopped. And it's not even a full stop. I'll just kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. And this is all day, every day. We had our trees cut down this afternoon, or this morning, 3 of the parkway trees. There were cars, even though the road was blocked, trying to go around the barriers that the tree people put up on both ends to make it as a cut-through. And they were not very happy when they couldn't get through. So it is an issue. I myself, on weekend mornings, can't pull out of my driveway at times at 6:30 going to work because the cars just wrap around the corner, and if you're coming out, they don't see you and they just keep going. So I believe it is an issue, and if there's something we can do about it, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa.
I had no intention of talking, but I'll back up what they said, because you know where I live, and that's the other end of North Avenue. And a few months back, I had talked about that at Berteau, when they put in the train station. It's completed on both sides. I was backing up a lady that came in and was talking about the fence. I've been told, kind of off the record, that that's not going to happen. It's interesting, in the past month, we had that bad train wreck. I mean, enough that Channel 7 had that helicopter up until 10:30 at night, just annoying the crap out of us. But there was a serious accident. Cars coming down North Avenue. When I moved in there in 1979, you could set up a picnic table on North Avenue and not get hit. There was just no traffic. They put through Prospect. That opened up a lot of traffic. Bartlett's gotten a lot bigger. I'm guilty. I've gone that way to cut across and get out Western. We need a crossing at Berteau because you've only got Oak and Western. I don't know if there's one in between. And then otherwise Prospect. A lot of people are going both sides. Oak is busy now with the lights. Western doesn't. So that's a way for them to get out, especially if they're going west. We need another crossing. I backed them up. We got a lot of traffic on that street. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Russell. Is this something that the first time that we've heard as far as North and Western? Has this been an issue in the past?
Let me just address the issue that Mr. Russell raised relative to the crossing. There are a number of concerns that the board asked us to communicate with Metra. We have called and we have written a formal letter to Metra, and that's one of those issues, and we have not heard back yet. Relative to the traffic, I think that on peak hours it's pretty heavy over there, and I think to address the residents' concerns about if there are any options to reroute it or control it, we need to take a look at that.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. Anyone else like to address the board at this time?
Hi, I'm Dominic. I also live on North Avenue, and I'm just getting tired of people flying down our street. And I kind of have a solution, somewhat, maybe a quick solution, but I think they should put
other than tax strips, you mean, instead of?
Yeah. Like from, because you got like landscapers, semis that cut through. I actually got pictures on my phone that semis, I mean, that's going to cost taxpayers money because it's going to destroy the sewers underneath there, and then who's going to end up paying for it is we are. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and I also have a little one at the house. This is ridiculous, you know. I mean, I was thinking on Western, have a no left from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. because they think it's a drag strip. You know, it's ridiculous. I mean, we can't even sleep at night because you got people with music, exhaust. You know, it's horrible. I mean, granted, you know, the police can't be everywhere. You know, I mean, this is tiring. We got to do something about it.
Thanks for bringing it to our attention.
So.
Can I get your last name and your address, please?
Yes, it's Bokuzi, 311 West North Avenue. I mean, we got 2 schools, we have a park. I mean, what are you guys going to wait till someone gets hit? This is ridiculous.
This is the first that I've heard of this problem, so absolutely we'll take a look at it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next agenda item, which are the standing committee reports. First standing committee report is Planning and Zoning Committee, chaired by Trustee Camerer.
Thank you, President Wallace. There is one item on the Planning and Zoning Committee this evening, and that is the medical cannabis or the marijuana zoning ordinance text amendment. The Illinois legislature recently approved of the cultivation and sale of medical marijuana. That law goes into effect January 1st, 2014. The law provides for 22 cannabis cultivation centers and 60 medical cannabis dispensing centers throughout the state of Illinois. The proposed text amendment that is before the board will require a special use permit in the I-1 light industrial zoning district and in the I-2 EDA overlay zoning district for a cannabis cultivation center and for a medical cannabis dispensing center. By omission, those facilities would be prohibited uses in every other zoning district in the village. The draft text amendment was reviewed by the Planning and Zoning Committee at the August 20th, 2013 Committee of the Whole meeting. The possible locations of those facilities were reviewed, and this committee forwarded the draft text amendment to the ZBA. On October 3rd, 2013, the Zoning Board of Appeals conducted a public hearing on the draft text amendment and was recommended approval. The Committee of the Whole again reviewed the matter on October 15, 2013, Committee of the Whole meeting, and sent it on to the Board for a final vote. With that, I move to pass Ordinance 2013-69, an ordinance amending the Bartlett zoning ordinance to require special use in the I-1 light industry district.
Second.
And the I-2 economic development area EDA overlay district for medical cannabis, marijuana cultivation, and dispensing as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Camerer, seconded by Trustee Aaron's to pass Ordinance 2013-69, an ordinance amending the Bartlett zoning ordinance to require a special use permit in the I-1 district and the I-2 EDA overlay district for medical marijuana cultivation and dispensing facilities. Is there any discussion? Correction. This is not right?
No, it's 81.
All right.
2013-81.
81, 69.
So I will entertain a motion to pass 2013-81.
81. Yeah, I thought we were in the 70s last week, or 2 weeks ago.
I so moved.
Been moved by Trustee Camerer, seconded by Trustee Aaron's to pass Ordinance 2013-81, an ordinance amending the Bartlett zoning ordinance to require a special use permit in the I-1 district and the I-2 EDA overlay district for medical marijuana cultivation and dispensing facilities. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Aaron's?
Yes.
Camerer?
Yes?
Carbonaro?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Ranky?
Yes.
Shipman?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Chairman Camerer. Next item on our agenda is under the Building Committee. Chairman Martin.
Everything was covered under consent, and we had one item, and that was for the Ford Fusion, which is a hybrid, and I just want to say this equals, we now have 6 hybrids in our fleet for the village.
Thank you, Chairman Martin. Next item on the agenda is under Finance and Golf Committee. Chairman Ranky.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have the 2013 estimated property tax levy. Pursuant to state statute, we need to approve the estimated levy tonight, and then we'll conduct a public hearing on or about November the 19th, 2013. The projected levy for 2013 totals $9,390,955, which represents a 5.06% decrease over the 2012 extension. So given that, I'll turn everything over to our finance director.
I really have no other comments on the tax levy. We were able to reduce the tax levy by $500,000 because we have some flexibility this year with our reserves. It will go down. One thing that I will add is the police pension levy decreased based upon actuarial evaluations. That is very good, and we're happy to pass that along to taxpayers. You don't see that too much where a public pension fund actually has their tax levy reduced. So with that, I recommend it.
Okay, so then I'd move that the estimated 2013 property tax levy be established at $9,390,955.
Second.
Been moved by Trustee Ranky, seconded by Trustee Camerer. Is there any discussion?
For the non-financial people in the room, Jeff, so this was able to be brought down, for lack of a better phrase, because of reserve buildup and because also, if I'm reading into your statements correctly, the actuaries are expecting a better return on the investments from the police pension. Is that kind of it in a nutshell?
That's it, exactly.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Aaron's?
Yes.
Camerer?
Yes?
Carbonaro?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Ranky?
Yes.
Shipman?
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to the next item, agenda is License and Ordinance Committee. Chairman Carbonaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. The only item I have is already considered on the consent agenda for the open burn I have nothing further.
Thank you, Chairman Carbonaro. Next item on the agenda, moving along to Police and Health Committee, Chairman Shipman.
Nothing on the agenda this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Shipman. Next, we have Public Works, Chairman Ahrens.
Well, as you know, Public Works is always busy, but nothing to bring up at the board meeting tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Ahrens. Next item on the agenda is under new business. Is there anyone that has any new business for the good of the order? Hearing none, we'll move along to question and answer. Are there any questions from the board?
Very brief comment. Some of us were able to make it out to the BAPS Center over the weekend. I know, Mayor, you were there as well. And just a wonderful celebration, and really nice to see that community, a part of our community. And I'd say congratulations and Happy New Year to everybody. And it was very, very enjoyable.
I learned it's enunciated Diwali. Even though it's spelled with a W, so that's one thing I learned. But that was really a nice celebration, whoever got a chance to go out there.
Now, can you pronounce everything on the sign?
No.
Namaste.
BAPS.
BAPS is what I know how to say.
Did you get your little treat box?
Yeah, that was really nice. It was an excellent event.
Nice event. If you've never been, plan to go next year.
Anything else?
To remind everyone, this weekend at 10 a.m. at the Veterans Memorial, we're having a service. Everyone's invited. And I also would like to give kudos once again to our police department for handling the little train situation. And also Hanover Township. And I guess Metro.
Yeah, that was handled very well. I know it was a complete mess, and I think that's an understatement to say that our police department and our fire department worked hand in hand to be all over on top of that. And thank you for a job well done.
You know, our town is still small enough. Every single time I hear more than one helicopter, I know something's wrong, and that's always just hits me in the pit of the stomach. But yeah, I would concur with that. You guys did a great job, and you looked good on TV too.
Anybody else have any questions from the board?
I have one thing I'd like to add. I would like the staff to take a further review of their purchasing procedures. We do have a hardware store in town, and I'm just wondering why we continue to go over to Streamwood to make hardware purchases.
I can address that this evening, but I'd be happy to look into it.
Okay. I would just kind of like to spend. Let's promote our businesses in town as opposed to going to Streamwood.
A few businesses that I spoke to, I know you guys have to shift it around for reasons that, if it's an RFP or whatever, but a few businesses have suggested that they get business once in a while and they don't once in a while. So it'd be interesting to see how that decision's made.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Ma'am?
Well, now I forgot. If I think of it later, I'll ask. I'm sorry.
Okay. If there's nothing else for the good of the order, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. And I'd alert the public that directly following we're going to go directly into the Committee of the Whole meeting with 2 agenda items, and directly following that, we'll be adjourning to executive session to discuss pending litigation pursuant to Section 2C11 of the Open Meetings Act. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Shipman, seconded by Trustee Ahrens. The clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Ahrens?
Yes.
Camerer?
Yes.
Carbonaro?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Ranky?
Yes.
Shipman?
Yes.
Motion carries. This meeting's adjourned.